Welcome back to M Hood Fishing, everybody. It is just after 5 a.m. in the morning. Do you hear it? Total washout today. Well, the morning is. It's supposed to stop after 10, maybe 11 a.m. this morning, but the morning is a total washout. So we're in the house. We're going to do a catfish reel rundown. Someone has asked me a few times recently what reels I use, and I told them I would make a video. So here's the video. Now, I absolutely have a lot of rod and reels. This isn't all of them either, and there is a lot right here. These are not all catfish rod and reels, but quite a few of them are. We will start with the ones that I'm using the most right now, these two Penns, and then we will go from expensive down to cheap. This right here, this combo, is what I'm using the most. Now, that is a Penn Ferris 3, which I have two of. Barney sent me one of these. He's a subscriber, pretty cool guy. Both of them are on my Daiwa 10-foot medium heavies. These are Daiwa beef sticks. So, on this reel, I have 40-pound high vis for a main line. The line capacity on here for mono goes up to 20, and its capacity for 20 is 135 yards. This particular high vis line is not super thick, but you're not going to get 135 yards with that 40-pound test. It's definitely less than that. It's probably around 100, 110 yards on there, which I find to be good. Now, I don't typically use these to fish a location that's really far from the bank. I usually use these for close in, maybe about 50 to 60 feet out. Sometimes I have used these in deep water, but not a place where I need to do a long distance cast. I particularly use these in areas where braid is just going to get cut, where there's a lot of structure in the water. Now, I've handled some big fish with these reels over about a year's time that I've been running these two. Up to 48 pounds, I think, is the biggest one on one of these reels. 45 pounds also, 30 pound class, 20 pound class. They've worked out great for me, and I'm probably going to continue using these a lot here pretty soon. Before we move on, one thing I forgot, these are a 5000 series reel here. Now, those are not super cheap, but they're not super expensive. I probably spent maybe $50, $60 on one of those, and like I said, the other one was sent to me by Barney. So I do own Penn reels that are very expensive. Like, I have a couple of Spinfishers, which I'll show you here in a sec, but I don't use those for catfish. And then I have a bunch of other Penns. So I have Penn reels that cost a lot and Penn reels that don't cost a lot. They make a range, and I do like Penn a lot, but I'm not super loyal to one brand. Throughout this video, you'll see a spectrum of brands, from top shelf to bargain bin. On my big 12-foot, I have another Penn. So this is a Penn Pursuit 6000, and I have 80-pound braid on here. Probably getting about a max capacity with 80-pound braid, a little under 300 yards, because on here it says your 50-pound capacity is going to be 305. So probably way less than that, but not by much. And it depends on what braid you buy, because not all braid has the same diameter, and that is Power Pro on there. Now, I bought this one a long time ago, and I've had it serviced, I've cleaned it myself. As long as I keep the maintenance up on it, it is fine. It has paid off greatly. I've caught bull shark on this. I've caught big monster cats on it. I may have got my PB blue cat on that many years ago, if I remember correctly, which was a 72-pound blue cat. Now, I've got this on a 12-foot Shakespeare ugly stick right now, but I might be retiring this because I think I would like to get another newer 12-foot, because this one is heavy and newer ones are lighter as far as like what they weigh. And sometimes, especially when you get my age, you'd rather be casting something a little lighter because it means you can cast further. On my other 12 footer, which is a Daiwa beef stick, I have a Daiwa BG 5000 series, which again I bought a long time ago. I believe I bought this at Professional Sports in the CBD here in, well, not here, I'm not in New Orleans, but in New Orleans. So this reel has been with me a long time, and same thing as the Penn Pursuit. As long as I keep the maintenance up on it, it is a great reel. I've caught massive cats with this, big flatheads, big bull shark, well, about up to 40 pound on a bull shark, I think is the biggest one for me at the moment. But I believe I caught a 64 pound flathead with that reel. I may be wrong, it may have been the other one. But I have had this 12-foot Daiwa beef stick for quite some time as well. And again, I might be retiring that for a newer 12-foot Daiwa beef stick. Here's a reel that I thought I would just show you, even though I have not fished it yet and I haven't fished this rod yet. This is an 11-foot ugly stick. I got this for stuff like gar, catfish, and shark and other things. This is an Okuma Seymour. Am I pronouncing that right? I believe it is a 6,000 size reel. Now this is a bait runner. So this was actually sent to me by a subscriber. I thought I'd show it to you in case that subscriber is watching. I don't remember your name, but thanks for sending it. Just wanted to let you know that it is still here, and if everything goes right, we are going to use this weekend, hopefully in saltwater, if everything goes correctly. Okay, this is a versatile combo I have here. This is a Coastal Tough 8-foot medium heavy rod, and I have a Penn Pursuit 5000 series on it. Now, I did not buy this particular reel at the store. I either got it at a thrift store or a garage sale or found it in the garbage, but I've just kept it in good nick. I don't remember what condition it was in when I found it. I know it's not pretty on the outside, but it works fine. I use this combo not just for catfish, but for gar and snagging. Now, the line that I have on that is Academy Sports store brand high vis 80-pound braid, and that particular braid has a fairly thick diameter. I'm not a fan of the Academy Sports store brand braid, but I've had to purchase it in the past when there were shortages on braid and that was all that was available, and I still have a bunch here in the house. So if times get rough again, we got that horrible braid there to use. But I do think it's good. It's strong. It just has a thick diameter, which means you can't put a lot on a reel. That capacity is probably maybe 200 and something yards or less on there. It is a good reel. It's handled some big fish. I've hooked into some gar with it. I have brought in big Asian carp with it and catfish here and there. All right, with this next combo, you're going to notice a trend here. Daiwa and Penn. But don't worry, the next two combos are going to shatter that trend a little bit. So this is another Penn reel. This is a bait runner. Now, this is actually a carp combo I have set up. And why am I showing it in this video? Believe it or not, when I go carp fishing, I've caught catfish, and especially with this. This is a 12-foot Daiwa Black Widow. Now, it is a 3-piece rod, and it is pretty much a medium heavy rod. It's rated different. Its strength is rated different than normal in the what is normal for the US. I think that's a test curve of 5 or something. 3 pound. It's got a 3-pound test curve, not 5. That just means that it's really flexy. It can handle big fish. I think I've caught 20-pound class fish with that catfish, and it was fine. I was able to play them really good with the curve of the rod. So let's talk about the reel. It's a Penn Ferris 3, just like these two over here that I'm using a lot right now, but it's a bait runner and it's a 6,000 series, and I have 40-pound braid on that. Now I have 2 of these and I love them. They're great. I've caught carp and catfish. Awesome. Can't wait to use these probably next week. So I actually have 2 of those reels and 2 of those rods, And these are Daiwa Black Widow rods as well, but these are 10 footers and they're 2-piece rods opposed to the 12 footers being 3-piece rods. Now, these reels are not Penns though. These are cheaper reels. We're not going to go into great detail about these two. This is a Cast King 5000 series bait runner. Now, I've used it. I like it. These actually have a mix of reviews on Amazon and other places. Some people like them, some people don't. There's complaints. I got them anyway because they're not expensive and I find them to be good. Will they last? We'll see. I don't carp fish like absolutely every day, so they'll probably last a good while for me. And now let's get into the other one. This particular reel you may have not heard of. It is an XPR Carp Runner 6000 series. Both of these reels here have 40-pound test on them on my 10-foot Daiwa Black Widows, which are a 3-pound test curve, which means they're about medium heavy but a little soft. It means you are able to play the fish with the curve of the rod. The rods are great. So this is a bait runner. I like this reel. It's not expensive. I got this from bigcarptackle.com, which is a warehouse out of Oklahoma. Good company. I order stuff from them a lot. Now, why am I showing these? Well, because just like I said, when I carp fish around here using like real corn on the hair, like feeder corn, you know, from the feed store, I tend to catch blue cats with it as well. And when I'm using boilies, I catch blue cats. It's just, when I carp fish, I'm probably going to catch catfish. So sometimes guys like bait runners for catfish, and I find these bait runners, these two, to be a good, less expensive alternative to something like Daiwa or Penn. All right, I'm not going to say much that's good about this. This is a lose combo that Jared gave me. You can catch fish with it, but it's not great. This is a Cat Daddy. It's got a gear ratio of 4.4. See it right there. Now, fairly inexpensive combo if they still exist. This is, what did this come on? I don't even use this that much anymore. This is a medium heavy action. See right there. Yeah, it just doesn't have good gears. There's a lot of plastic stuff in there, but I have caught fish with it. If I just wanted to go fishing and I didn't want to spend a lot of money, I would get that. But since I fish for a living and I fish every day, yeah, it's not something I would get. Though I'm going to show you even cheaper stuff. The Shakespeare Alpha 60. Not an expensive reel. It's a lot of plastic stuff, but let me tell you, it's a bit of a workhorse. I have quite a few of these. I bought these with the idea of fishing smaller places for channel cat and eater size blues. I have, I think, 40-pound high vis on here actually, but on quite a few of these that I have, I use 35 and 20-pound and 25-pound, and they've been with me for maybe 3 years, and I don't have any complaints except for maybe a couple of things, but I've been able to work through those problems. Let me try to do this with one hand here. Here we go. On one of them, which I'll show you in a second, the arm here comes out and I just put it back in. They get bent up, but I've caught a lot of fish with them, and so far they're not making any noise, and I haven't done any maintenance on these. I don't tend to really do a lot of maintenance on super cheap reels because I don't see the point. Really expensive ones, once in a while I will take them apart and clean them and re-grease them, like maybe once a year or twice a year. But with these, I just fish with them till they die because they're super cheap, and yeah, that's just my attitude with it. Here's another Shakespeare Alpha. This is the Alpha 50. Now, my opinion of this is the same for the Alpha 60. For a cheap reel, they're decent. They're made well. It is all plastic for the most part, but they've held up pretty good. And same thing with this. I've had this for about 3 years or so. Got them a bit before COVID hit. Not right with COVID, but about maybe a year before COVID or something. And I've done really well with these. I've actually caught carp with one of these Alpha 50s. I think I have 2 of these and 2 of those or more. I don't know. I've got quite a few of these. If you see them and you need a cheap reel and you're looking for like 20-pound class fish, you can actually get bigger fish with these. But to be fair, 20-30-pound class is pretty good for these. Anything bigger, you could probably do it if you have your drag loose, but I can't say that they're gonna last long after a bunch of big tanks, because they are cheap, but they don't die fast. I haven't had one absolutely puke out on me, and I like them, but I don't always buy cheap stuff. Here's the Alpha 50 that gives me problems, and it's just this right here. See, it just slips right out. And I have tried to change it to where it won't do that, and it keeps doing that. I guess I could glue it, but I just haven't bothered. When it does it, I just pop it right back in, and I'm not gonna do that with just my thumb right now, but yeah, not that big of a deal. And I've had it for a few years now, maybe about 3, so no serious complaints. All right, so here's another cheap catfish combo. Now this isn't sold together. That is a Blue Runner 8-foot medium heavy. It's fine for eater size. You could probably get a 30-pound class or 40-pound class fishing with that, but I don't know if you would fare well going any bigger than that, like a 50 or 60-pound class fish, but you could do it. Now this is a Berkeley Fusion. It says Berkeley Fusion 206 on there, whatever that means. It's probably like a 4,000 or 5,000 series rod. If you ever see these, they're usually sold as a combo, or they were. If you have a little bit of money and you just need a cheap combo, it's not bad. Not bad. I wouldn't say that it would be the thing you'd want to get if you're going after a higher class of fish, like 40, 50, 60 pound, but it's all right. I've caught quite a bit of fish on this. Not something that I would run out and buy 10 of, though. Earlier in the video, I talked about a higher end of Penn reel, the Spinfisher. This is a baitrunner Spinfisher. That is huge. You could get about 400, 500 yards of braid on there. Probably my most expensive reel ever. And I haven't actually used it yet. The Spinfishers aren't really catfish reels. You could use them as catfish reels. They tend to be a little heavy. They're perfect for saltwater because they're sealed. The one I showed you is an 8,000, and this one here, which if everything goes right, we will use this weekend, is a 550, meaning that it's a 5,050 series. There you go, a rundown of all my catfish reels. Not an absolute ton of catfish rod and reels, but quite a few. I know I didn't go into like really deep, highly technical detail about the reels. You can just go look up the reels and find that out for yourself. I just didn't want to make this video super long. Just something for me to do while it's raining, and it looks like it's gonna go for a while. Fishing might be just absolute crap later today, but if it clears up, I will try to get out and do some fishing. Until then, thanks for watching, subscribing, liking, sharing, and I will see you next time.